Yo, tapping in real quick. Something light, nothing major. Peace and blessings and all that. You know what I'm talking about? Hopefully everybody's Monday has kicked off properly. And you know, your week's gonna go according to plan. You know what I'm talking about? Nothing too crazy about this video right here. We just gonna sit here and chop it up for a few minutes for what it's worth. You know, call it the final thoughts, the final answer, the final talks. We fitting to take this final walk, this final lap, and run through this motherfucker from bottom to top one more again, and let that be that with that. You know what I'm talking about? Let's go ahead and dive into it. We already been through it, so I ain't gonna hold y'all hostage for too long. You know what I'm talking about? It is what it is. We do have one single light little adjustment for this week. Only one, and we're going to let that be that with that. I very much so did not want to have any adjustments on this card in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I wanted to lock these picks in and let that be that with that. But there was one particular matchup on this card that kept me up last night. I ain't even going to hold you, man. This motherfucker had me tossing and turning and woke me up about 3 or 4 different times. And every time, man, this motherfucker's stupid ass name or nickname was rolling around in my head, man. So every time I rolled over, you know, either snatched the jack or popped open the motherfucking Mac and, you know, got to searching tape. You know what I mean? Got to go back and reiterate and be redundant and rewatching shit I already watched just to, you know, see what the fuck I was missing. You understand what I'm saying to you? So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Let's go ahead and talk about it real quick and get it out the way. You know what I mean? As of right now, that first fight of the night, that is still a fight that I want absolutely nothing to do with, not in any way, shape, form, or fashion. That is Modestus, the Baltic Gladiator, versus Hafel, the Lion. And yes, you can probably guess, it was that dumbass Modestus, the Baltic Gladiator, that just kept rolling around in my fucking head last night. I said it over and over again. I couldn't be redundant enough how much I wanted nothing to do with this fight. But maybe I was just being a bit too harsh on Hafel, the Lion, because he dropped his UFC debut inside the distance via KO TKO to the young man Ebo, who's fighting a little bit later on up this card, and I'm just not necessarily that high on Ebo. You understand what I'm saying to you? 14-1, all 14 knockouts. He's killer be killed. You understand what I'm saying to you? Same as Hafel, 11-1. 8 knockouts, 2 submissions, 1 decision, and 1 knockout loss. Very much so a killer be killed fighter in his own right, and he just happened to go out on his own shield that night. You understand what I'm saying to you? But it is what it is, man. So maybe I was being a bit harsh on Hafel, the Lion, for, you know, dropping that debut and taking that loss in that fashion to that individual who I just happen to not be that high on. So let me get all my bias shit out the fucking way. You know what I'm talking about? Take these cloggy biased goggles off and really do my due diligence when it comes to this motherfucking matchup, man. And I honestly don't think that the Baltic Gladiator is going to make it up out of this motherfucker conscious. You understand what I'm saying to you? I think Hafel is going to improve to 12-1 with 9 knockouts, 2 submissions, and 1 decision. You understand what I'm saying to you? Maybe he club and subs Modestus, the Baltic Gladiator, and gets him out of there via submission, but I honestly think he's going to rip him whop, with one of those body kicks and boo, boo, down the motherfucking pipe, and then just riddle him with them motherfucking, you know, finishing shots to get him the fuck up out of there, man. You know, the Baltic Gladiator gets touched a bit too much for my comfortability when it comes to being locked in a cage with a savage like Hafel. You understand what I'm saying to you? So, it is what it is. Like it or don't like it, it's the one and only light adjustment this week. The pick is Hafel at plus 260. Add another dog to the slate. You know what I'm talking about? We originally had 3 dogs with 1 even pick'em and 8 favorites for the 12 fight slate. And then Adam and Billy Ray, that fight got scrapped, and Adam was one of my very confident dogs. You understand what I'm saying to you? So when that fight got scrapped, had 11 fights, which left us with, 8 favorites and 2 dogs and 1 even pick'em. Now we're back to 3 dogs with 7 favorites and 1 even pick'em. You know what I'm talking about? So it is what it is. We in the doghouse. I don't know what you expected. You know what I mean? If I feel like a dog is gonna bark and has the potential to pop the fuck off more times than not, we gonna roll the dice on that motherfucker. So it is what it is. That is the one light adjustment for this week. Fuck a Modestus. Fuck the Baltic Gladiator. We gonna rock with Hafel the Lion to get this one done inside the distance via KO TKO. Fuck it, round 1. Kick this motherfucking night off in spectacular fashion. Yeah, that's how we gonna do that, man. That's how we gonna do that. Moving on, we got Blue Collar, Nick Klein, taking on Mansour Abdul Malik. And the pick is still Mansour Abdul Malik. We have Ricky Simone taking on Javid Basharat. Still a fight I want absolutely nothing to do with. Ricky Simone is fighting at home, as he is a Washington boy, and they are fighting in Seattle, Washington. So how much that hometown crowd, that hometown advantage, and that hometown energy is going to play a part in this matchup, I do not know. But if it plays a significant part, Javid Basharat is probably going to lose this one via unanimous or split decision. The pick is still Javid, the Snow Leopard, because we're not adjusting any other fights on this card. Just that one down there at the bottom. So Basharat's still the pick, man. Nurse Sultan versus Eric Mechanico. It's still Nurse Sultan. Inside the distance via KO TKO. Ion versus Ebo. It's Ebo, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ion came out here and pulled a Salsa Boy Austin Lane on Robelis to Spain type of situation and drug him the fuck out, man. Took him to his first ever decision, because we know Ion can go the distance. But Ebo's still the pick to hopefully come out here and catch clip and disconnect the Ion from his consciousness. Andre and Miguel, I don't know, Andre and Costa. It's still Andre to come out here and get this one done. Alonzo versus Julius. It's still Juice Box for me. It's still Gene over Melsick, Gene over Rob. And, it's Anthony over Brendan. But, you know how I feel about this one. Proceed with extreme caution. Because Brendan Allen has by far faced the higher level of opposition. That's just undeniable. At 24-6 to 13-2, not only does he have experience on his side, but he has the experience of being in there with a higher level of opposition on his side. 2 years youth on his side, 2 inches in height on his side. But I believe the speed and the power and the diversity on the feet in the striking department to be on Fluffy's side. I believe Fluffy to be just a bit more dangerous than Brendan. It's wild that Fluffy's ranked number 9 and Brendan's ranked number 10 when you take into consideration the resume that Brendan has compared to the resume that Fluffy has, especially since being inside the UFC on their current runs. You understand what I'm saying to you? But one would think that Brendan would have possessed the higher ranking just based off of the individuals who who he's been sharing that octagon with. You understand what I'm saying to you? But it is what it is, and Fluffy is still the pick, just like Henry Cejudo is still my big dog, man. He's not my biggest dog no more at plus 220. I think Hafel at plus 260 is the biggest dog. And Julius Walker is in around about minus 115. I mean, plus 115. So, you know, we have 3 dogs, 1 slight dog, an even pick 'em, and 7 favorites, man. I do apologize for the pick switch, for the late light adjustment, you know what I mean? But that motherfucker kept me up all night, man. That motherfucker kept me up all night. Now, if Modestus comes out here and, you know, knocks Hafel the fuck out, wouldn't that suck? I think Modestus is gonna get touched, though. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just something that I'm seeing. But I can, you know, I can see him getting cracked the way Jimmy Croup cracked him. I can see him getting cracked the way Vitor Petrino cracked him. You know what I mean? He's in there with an individual who can crack, who likes to crack, and who gets it done for the most part. Catching, clipping, and disconnecting a motherfucker from their consciousness, or clubbing subbing them. You know what I'm talking about? I like, upon further investigation, I have come to the conclusion that I like the Lion pretty fucking, like I like fairly decent amount. You understand what I'm saying to you? In this matchup. Like Modestus is gonna come out there, you know, he's gonna throw his little leg kicks and his calf kicks, but when he does it, he leaves all this open. You know what I mean? And I could see how I felt countering the leg kicks with a check hook and just fucking dropping him and then raining down on him. You know what I mean? I could see him countering the motherfucking leg kicks with some kicks of his own and just really whopping him to the motherfucking body and crumpling him up and then raining down on him. The more tape I watched on Hafel, his body of work, and the way he approaches a fight, and the more I watched Modestus, his body of work, the way he approaches the fight, things he allows to happen, you know, he gets touched a bit too much to be in there with somebody who's heavy on the touch. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that he can take too much from Hafel, especially with Hafel hungry to get that one back, coming off his first ever loss, and it was inside the distance via, you know, KO, TKO. He wasn't clipped and disconnected, you know what I mean? But he was, you know, up on the cage, getting rained down on, ripping to the body, coming around the guard, you know, catching him with hooks. It is what it is, man. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I personally believe, you know, he wants that one back with a fury. You know what I'm talking about? Like, he wants that one back, and they gave him the proper motherfucker to get, you know, to get one back. A proper bounce back matchup, if you dig what I'm saying. So it is what it is, man. That's it. I ain't gonna hold y'all hostage too long, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all hostage too long, man. It's 11 fights. Unless, you know, they add somebody to the slate. Picks are locked the fuck in. But I am letting you know where I believe you should proceed with extreme caution, man. This first fight of the night, it's still a fight that I do not want a whole lot to do with, but I am a bit more interested in how it all shakes out now. And I will have, you know, a sprinkle on Hafel via KO, TKO in the prop section, unless, you know, that's sitting somewhere right around his money line at plus 260, then it's just not worth the risk. It's too risky. I'll just take the money line at plus 260 because maybe he clubs and subs him and gets the submission. maybe he finds his way to a decision just beating him up for 15 minutes. And if the, money lines are anywhere near the same range as far as for the knockout and for, just taking him on the money line, then I just take him on the money line and not risk it because, anything can fucking happen. But it is what it is, man. Hafel is the pick. We gonna rock with the lion, man. You know what I'm talking about? Mansour Abdul Malik is the pick inside the distance. Javid Basharat is the pick via majority or split decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if this one was a draw. Nur Sultan is the pick inside the distance. Ebo is the pick inside the distance, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was drugged the fuck out to a decision and handled like Robellis was by Salsa Boy and Austin Lane. You know what I'm talking about? So proceed with caution. Andre Philly is the pick via KO, TKO, or decision. Julius Walker is the pick inside round 1. Just get him the fuck up out of there. Gene Silva is the pick. Gene Matsumoto is the pick via submission round 2. Fluffy is the pick. Possibly via split decision. Maybe he catches clips and disconnects Brendan Allen. But I honestly don't know. Proceed with extreme caution. And Henry Cejudo is the pick. You know what I'm talking about? So that's what it is, y'all. That's that with that. That's the final thoughts, the final talks, the final answer. We took that final walk, that final lap, and we ran through this motherfucker one more again from bottom to top, and that's that with that, man. It's Hafel as a dog, Malik as a significant favorite, Javid as a favorite, Nur Sultan as I do not know because the money line was unavailable. Ebo as a slight favorite, Andre as an even pick'em, Julius Walker as a slight dog, Gene as a significant favorite. Gene, money line wasn't available, but I would like to believe he's gonna be a favorite. Fluffy as a favorite, and Cejudo as a dog. So Cejudo's our dog, Julius Walker's our dog, and Hafel the Lion is our dog. We rocking with Triple C. In the main event as an underdog, we rocking with Hafel the Lion in the first fight of the night as an underdog, and we rocking with Julius Walker as an underdog. You know what I'm talking about? Everything else is favorites or even pick'ems, man. So it is what it is. That's the card. That's all 11 picks. I do apologize for the light little adjustment to kick the card off, but I do feel like that light little adjustment is absolutely necessary, and it'll pay off, much like the money line pick for Nazim Sadiakov paid off. You understand what I'm saying to you? He's going to get Modestus out of here, and he's going to get him out of here inside the distance, man. So that's that with that. That's 11 fights. 2 nice dogs, 1 slight dog, 1 even pick'em, and 7 favorites for the most part, significantly so. You know what I'm talking about? That's that with that. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Peace and blessings.